felt like I was leaving a cult over and over and over again. Get those stories going, because those stories are going to convince that vast group that they have permission to step away from something they already feel like is probably kind of toxic, without having this feeling like they need to step into something even more radical in a different direction as a complete rejection. And what's funny for me with this post-liberal Theo-bro bullshit is, an NRX, whatever we want to call it, is they are so angry and down on the new atheist movement, but it's literally, they are like the new atheists for the woke. They're like the extreme, let's turn around and throw the rocks at the cathedral that like we were kind of sucked in on this and we're super pissed off that it got us. Like the atheist movement went full ass woke, not because it was atheist, but because it was overwhelmingly filled with pissed off feminists and gay activists who left Christianity that it felt like was oppressing them. So these guys are going to try to soak up a bunch of people who were either lightly woke or felt oppressed by woke or trapped by woke, and they're going to turn around and throw rocks at the cathedral, but they're literally just becoming the same idiotic thing, which is kind of why all the same patterns play out in those places.
So back to the social policing thing. So I keep on getting messages like, Benjamin, I'm so disappointed in you for not understanding women's point of view on this guy wearing a dress. And I'm like, I don't not see your point of view. I'm worried about what's behind the point of view. So like, you're saying, like,
stop real quick there about an important point, and then I want to come back. I don't want to interrupting you too much, but Benjamin, I'm so distraught and upset that you don't understand women's point of view. Bullshit! You don't understand some women who are speaking for all women as a class because they think they have a Gnostic understanding of what it really means to be a woman. You don't understand their cult view of what it means to be a woman's perspective about the man in a dress. They are not speaking for all women, and we've got to get in the habit of this right here, this manipulative tactic that, and it's not just feminists. Feminists claim to speak for all women. Every effing time they open their mouths, they say women. Every time you say something to any woman whatsoever, all of a sudden you say, I think feminism caused problems. They will translate it to, James said women cause problems. No, I fucking didn't. I said feminists cause problems, and most women actually aren't feminists. And you have 27 definitions of feminism, none of which agree with each other. So feminist isn't even a specific enough term to be able to use in any context whatsoever, ever, anywhere, at any time, in terms of what women or feminists think. So that's bullshit. But it happens too. BLM did not actually, as it turns out, speak for black people very well. The queer community, if you want to even call it a community, the queer activists do not speak for lesbians, gays, bisexuals, and whatever the hell else, and all trans people for certain. They certainly do not speak for the people who are detransitioning. They speak against them vigorously and viciously, almost as though they're like Muslims who are pissed off and an apostate. This is exactly this idea that the Gnostic representative of the class becomes the avatar of the class, and the only true spokesperson for the class is the magic spell. So Benjamin, I know you understand the stupid feminist perspective on this.
Well,
and I also understand that you recognize that it's not the women's perspective on this, but let's just take 5 minutes there and break this feminist bullshit spell that feminism and women are identical, because they are most certainly not.
They're not. They're not. And that's probably where it all, like, that's probably the thank you very much for pointing that out. Cause I was just jumping into their frame without going through and saying, like, wait, women and parents are against me now? Like, are you talking about 5 billion people? That doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
No, like 2% of women that are actually active online or online are probably mad at you, and like nobody else.
Yeah. It doesn't really scale, but people are disappointed because I don't understand women's point of view. So it's not women's point of view. It's this particular point of view. And I do understand the point of view, but like you were saying with like the inner church and the outer church, it's very easy to be used. Your feelings of disgust, your feeling of righteous indignation, your feeling, which is warranted in our culture right now, that things are falling apart and kids and women are being thrown under the bus. That feeling can be used to implement more and more authoritarian measures. And so I can, there's a way of saying, okay, that's correct, but how do we implement this? How do we go about implementing decency laws? How do we reform society? How do we do that? Like, do we
I
impose
think that
dress
actually has
codes or
to
no?
start with. No, I think it can't start with policy. It has to start with people.